everybody! Welcome to Pink Sheep and Friends Friday. Woo woo, yeah! I am so glad to have you all here. Today is also the release day for this brand new pattern. This is the Angelica Jacket. It is also called the Birmingham Jacket. For Hooked, they actually name their patterns after the cities that the designers live in or a city of their choice. So I went with the Birmingham Jacket. And actually, while you guys are on here, before we go live, I'm going to turn this around for a second because I am actually going to go ahead and make this pattern live right now. So I did not do that and I'm talking about it. So we are going to go ahead and publish this listing on Etsy. Let's see. So the cool thing about this pattern, this was a collaboration with Hooked brand yarn, Hooked, Hooked brand yarn. And it is published. Okay, so this pattern was, and it is now actually available, so you can go buy the pattern now. I meant to do that before I hopped on here. But this was a pattern written for t-shirt yarn. And one of the main things about that is it's not usually meant for wearables, and I wanted to test that and create a wearable using t-shirt yarn. So Hooked collaborated with me, sent me some of their yarn. I created the jacket. They actually translated this pattern into 4 different languages aside from English. And so if you purchase the Etsy pattern, you get 3 downloads. You get a print friendly, you get a regular PDF with the full photo tutorial, and then you can also download the translated version. So super, super cool. I know that was a quick PSA before we get to our Pink Sheep and Friends interview today. But I was super excited to share about that because today is the day and it is now live in my Etsy shop. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. I have a fun reel that I'm going to share after this too of how I'm going to style it. I have 5 different ways that you can style the jacket. So I thought that would be really fun. But we are here today to chat with another friend so that we can all make new friends and get to know our friends a little better. And today I am going to be joined by Casey of Carroll Art. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and see if you are on here, Casey. Let me see. Let's see if I can request for you to join. Let's see if she's in here. You need to join. And let's see if we can get you on here. There she is. Oh, we got to flip the camera around.
Oh, yeah.
There you are.
Hi.
Hi. I got to change my camera around too. I figured maybe a little bit higher. It always changes it once you go double screen. Okay, there we are. Well, how are you?
I'm tired. How are you?
I am too. It was I knew that today was a big day because we have our live today, and then this pattern was releasing today, and since it's a collaboration,
Yay.
it's always a little more, when it's a collaboration, there's a little more stress of like, okay, am I going to do all of the right things on the right day at the right time? And then I knew I needed to post a reel because, of course, now it was actually really funny. Knit Brooks. I don't know if you follow Knit Brooks.
Mm-mm.
So she posted a reel. Her and her husband make the hand-carved crochet hooks out of wood and
Cool.
driftwood and things. And she posted a reel today pretty much making fun of the fact that now you pretty much have to post a reel if you want to get noticed. So if you want to do a shop
Pretty
update.
much.
Yes. And so she has a reel of her like holding her hook and like twerking, like, with a sad face. Feeling like we're being victimized by Instagram
I
reels.
love doing reels. I don't like them. I feel like they're time consuming and my husband looks at me like I'm a weirdo. It's not something that I can just take a picture and I'm done. It's just it's the editing for me that just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And then when it glitches when you upload it, and it's just super frustrating. But yes, like I feel like if I don't do reels, I'm invisible, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, super frustrating. So I'm working on a plan now to try and get more of those out. It's just, I don't want to.
I know. And I think a lot of us feel that way. You either really, really enjoy it. There are some people
Mhm.
who really do enjoy that aspect. Like if they're a
Mhm.
video person, I've gotten better at it because I've kind of figured out the types of reels that are easiest for me to do, that I can kind of have fun with, and that are really easy to edit. So I feel like that's,
Yeah.
that's been a little helpful. But it is so oppressingly hot where we are right now. Like we had started letting our dogs be kind of more outside dogs, but the last, I think 4 or 5 days, they come in at 11 a.m. and they don't go back out until like
Yes.
5 or 6. You know,
Yeah.
they'll go pee, but it's just too hot. It's too hot for them to
Mine
be
too.
outside. Yeah. And remind me where you are.
Southern Illinois, like southern central-ish,
Okay.
about an
And I'm
hour from
really,
St. Louis.
really bad at geography, so I'm trying to like place Illinois on the map.
It's like,
But
okay, so like here's Illinois and here's Missouri, here's St.
uh-huh.
Louis. I'm like right about here. Chicago's like way up here.
Yeah. And
Um,
what's the temperature's been like for you lately?
like fire.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Same.
it's been miserable. Just the humidity is so thick and heavy, it's hard to
Like you're
breathe.
breathing in water.
Oh, it's awful. I mean, the other day we went out and like all of our windows had condensation on
Yeah.
them. I took my book out in our screen room porch where I like to sit and read in the morning, and it was just too muggy. Like there was a film of water on my book and on my
Yeah.
cup, and I'm like, this is gross.
Yeah.
My dog, though, he thinks he wants to go outside during the day, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
it's too hot. And he'll go out there for a minute, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yes.
I told you.
Exactly. Yeah. And this morning I knew I wanted to do this reel because I wanted to do one where I kind of styled this jacket since it's
Hmm.
releasing, and trying to pretend like I could totally wear this jacket outside right now, but I could barely wear a shirt right now.
Right?
So I'm like going in and out, changing and like taking a minute in the house to like wipe my face off before I go back outside.
All your
Yeah.
pictures, you're like just dripping.
Yeah. I might as well. I might as well wait till the very end and just do like a reality check of like
Uh-huh.
this is what's happening right now.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. Well, I want to get to the point of today's session, which is getting to know you a little bit better. So if you want to let people know, for anyone who's joining in and does not know who you are, what you do, and then we'll jump into even more fun questions.
Fun. Well, I'm Casey, and I do Casey Carroll art. Originally, I started out mostly doing crocheted hats and crocheted plushies. Like, I really love the plushies; they're so much fun. Um, And here in the last year, I've transitioned more into pattern writing, and I'm still doing some finished items. Like I still have some leftovers, I guess, but more into the pattern writing
Mhm.
and starting to get into tech editing for crochet pattern designers, where I just review the pattern and kind of pick out like different grammatical errors or punctuations, check the math on all of the pattern. Just make sure it reads well and is consistent. I've also started recently doing stickers that are like a crochet or like sunshine and
Mhm.
rainbows theme. And I also do poms, like the faux fur poms for hats and whatnot. Although I did have somebody not too long ago who bought two closely matching rainbow poms to put on her roller skates. So that was
Oh.
super cool. I was like, yay, that's exciting. So
So
something
now,
different.
now you need to buy roller skates so that you can market pom poms for
Yes.
roller skates, right?
Yes. I used to rollerblade. Like when I was in college, I rollerbladed
Mhm.
everywhere. But I don't know if I could anymore. I don't
Yes.
know if my ankles could handle it. So I like the video that you posted with the pillow on your bum, like I would definitely
Mhm.
need that. So
Yeah, and that's where I was because I rollerbladed growing up. Never really did the
Mhm.
quad skates, but I mean that's like the thing now. And I figure if I'm gonna try to do all of the like in place dancey moves, because I didn't really get them to like go skate around a park. I really did get them to try to like learn some cool moves, you know.
Yeah.
So I figured I would try to learn the quad skates. So we're learning, and now it's too hot to do anything. So I need to
Yes.
like bring them in the basement and practice in the basement.
Yeah. And I mean, other than my basement, which is full of craft supplies, I don't really have anywhere that I could practice roller skating either. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I use our garage right now. We have like a
yeah.
detached garage that is my husband's workspace, and there's almost like there's a pool table in the middle because we brought a pool table over here through our move and there was nowhere to put it, and this is a two-car detached garage. So
Run.
there's a pool table in the middle and I can like kind of skate around it. So
So you have like your own little skating rink.
yes, exactly. Exactly. So, and someone just said, let me see, get quad skates and tighten them really well, and then you won't move. Yeah, so, and that's what I do. I have the higher, the ankle ones, and I've tightened them really good. And so far, I have not had a bad fall, and I have all the protective gear and stuff. But it's been a journey. It's been interesting, trying that now.
There's one girl, she crochets with like Star Lily
Yes.
Creations, maybe. Yes. She does the roller skates and it's so much fun. She makes me want to skate.
Well, and I feel like she travels a lot, and so she does get to like bring the skates out in areas where it's she's got a little more space, and like when you're on the road,
Yeah.
you can find these places. But we're homebodies,
Yeah.
so if I'm gonna video myself, it's gonna be just in the driveway or in the garage. And like we're gonna get so bored because it's not like I can do anything cool
Right.
yet,
Here I am skating in my basement. There's the freezer.
doing the same old drills, trying not to fall on camera. So I would love to know, when did you learn how to crochet? When was that?
2010, I think.
Okay.
So I went to college for art and did a lot of painting and ceramics and printmaking and sculpture and all the things.
Yes.
And I did some weaving when I was in college. And like after I got out of college, I really loved doing the painting. Mostly because I didn't have the equipment to do the printmaking and the ceramics and all that. That's one thing that I miss about college. But then when my first daughter was born, I didn't have the space to do oil painting anymore.
And oil painting is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing. That's what I was trained in. And so I didn't have the space for oil painting. I didn't have a spot so that they could dry because it takes forever to dry. And then there's the fumes that go with it. And so I just couldn't do it anymore with her. And then as I was going through my divorce and I got resettled and all that, I finally took my grandma up on the whole crochet thing because she had been trying to teach me. Like she had tried a few different times, and while I was in college, and I'm like, I don't have time for it. Like it's really cool and I want to do it, but I don't have time. And so I was living in Kentucky and she was in Illinois, and she mailed me a giant box full of yarn and hooks and knitting needles and a book. And so like the big like stitch book or something, like it's super old and it has like embroidery and crochet and knitting and all these other things in it. I just learned from reading that book because I don't think there was a whole lot of videos on YouTube yet or anything like that. And so like I just went step by step and figured it out. Knitting took a little bit longer. It was a little more complicated, but yeah, so I basically taught myself from things that my grandma sent me in the mail.
That's awesome.
And then opened my Etsy shop maybe a year or so later. So,
okay.
Yep.
That's fantastic. So what were in it? You can pick maybe two if there's not like one top, but what was your favorite thing to do art-wise when you were in college, that like if you had the opportunity today and money wasn't a factor and you could get everything you needed in the space, what would you do?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably ceramics. Like
I wondered
loved
if you were
it.
going to say that.
I loved it. It was so much fun. And we even had like, before we moved our studios, we had like this little courtyard, like between the buildings, like where the art side was and where the music side was. It was like a little brick area where we did like our raku firings and things like that. And if anything did not come out of the kiln very well, like if it cracked in the kiln or the glazing didn't work right or something, we would take it out and throw it against this brick wall.
Mhm.
And it was so fantastic. It was such a great stress reliever. And I told my husband, I'm like, I need one of these, like to
Just
go
to
and get
make it
like
and throw it
plates
against the
from
wall.
garage sales or something, and or like one of these wrecking rooms or whatever, I'm like, I need to go to one of these. Like,
Yeah.
got some rage built up apparently. But it was so much fun. But that's what we did.
And remind me, because right now you also work is it full time outside
Yes.
of, and what do you do
Yes.
again?
Well, I'm not working currently. This past year, like August to just a couple weeks ago, I was working in the school systems. I was working with 4th and 5th grade special ed students as a special ed assistant. So we are out of school now for the summer. And I am working my crochet business full time, Monday through Friday. My daughter goes to daycare 3 days a week so that I can have a little time to myself to get things done. Although then my husband is like interrupting, like, hey, look at this video I found on Facebook. And I'm like, I don't care.
Send it to me in a message, right? I'll look at it in a little while.
I'll look at it later. And so I've been doing that full time since we got out of school, and I'm hoping I can continue it in the fall and not have to go back full time, maybe just sub here and there as needed or whatever. But that's the plan. We'll see how it goes.
So I wanted to ask you, because I feel like I remember you did a Reels challenge, and I do want to talk about that a little bit too for people who are struggling, like most of us, to post Reels regularly. But I remember you posting something a while back, and I could be totally wrong, but I feel like the affinity that you have for color and, like bright colors and all of that was something that you maybe didn't allow yourself to really, bring on and like, wear the bright colors and like do those things. Was that something that was kind of new that you kind of allowed yourself to say, okay, I'm just going to do what I want to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so I used to be very, very outgoing. Like when I was a teenager and into college, and then I got married. And I felt like a lot of my creativity and a lot of my personality was very stifled. And so like it has taken me a long time to kind of break out of that, even though that was like 12, 13 years ago, something like that. It's just taken me a while to get out of that habit and mindset and feel like, okay, it's okay. I can wear these colorful things, and I can wear bright pink lipstick, and I can do what I want. I can wear what I want. I can be how I want to be, like I'm not getting any younger. And like, who cares at this point? I'm not in high school. So like, I don't have people constantly being like, well, you shouldn't wear that, And so I just don't care anymore what people think. This is just how I am. And like, I have found though, that when I dress the way that I do, and I'm just like super bubbly and just let it all come out, all the awkwardness and everything, that people are almost drawn to that. And I'm constantly getting compliments on, like, I've seen several in here about my glasses, just everything. They're like, oh my gosh, you're always so bright and bubbly and colorful, and I just love it, and I wish I could do that, but I'm just not comfortable wearing those colors or whatever. I hear those things all the time, and I'm like, do it, like, who cares? And I find that when I'm wearing like the brighter colors, like I feel more energetic, I guess, than when I wear like more neutrals. I just kind of feel, and I just don't care anymore. Like what people think about things that I say or how I feel or what I do. It's none of their business. Like you can't make everybody happy. So why try? Like just make you happy. Do what you want to do. Like,
no, I agree 100%. And I think that, I think again, life is way too short to be so concerned. I think that was like now, things like getting tattoos. I mean, being in my now mid 30s, wanting to get more tattoos, wanting to dye my hair. and it's because it makes me happy. And I think like
Yes.
we
Yep.
have to do the things that make us happy and make us excited.
Hmm.
And I get the same thing. I have a lot of people who will message me about it. And, it's funny because I do still have a lot of clothing that's, I say a lot, but like I have some, neutral outfits. And, the days when I don't feel good and I know I'm probably going to spend it on the couch, and I put on my like
That's what I
black
wear.
tank top and my gray sweatpants and
Uh-huh.
my black hoodie. And
Yep.
and I do feel like that it is part of like the mood. There are some days that I don't,
Mhm.
maybe don't want to dress up super bright, but most of the
Mhm.
time I think if I force myself to, then it can
Yeah.
put you in a better mood. And
Yeah.
um, I have to say, you wear the pink lipstick really well. It looks really good.
I do still struggle sometimes, like wearing it to church. I'm like, is this appropriate? Like,
It's
am I
interesting
going to
though,
look like a
because
hussy?
no, 'cause I bet you, I feel like older, like the older ladies, like, and maybe this was maybe when I was younger, but I feel like the old like my great grandma,
Yes.
when she would go to
Yep.
church, would wear the bright pink lipstick. So
Yep.
this is coming
My
back
grandma.
around,
Hmm.
you know.
Yep. I don't, it's just crazy to me. And it's like, especially with all the craziness going on in the world right now, like, why not do things that make yourself happy and that make you feel good and that maybe even brighten other people's days? So,
Yep. That's a
just
big part of
whatever.
it too. I mean, I think that's
Hmm.
one of my goals for social media was if I can bring other people a little bit of happiness, because I'm going through all this crap, to make reels.
Hmm.
And again, not that it's crap, like I do want to do it most of the time, and I love my business. I feel very blessed that we can do what we can do. But when it is your job, there are days when it's
Hmm.
really have to make another reel.
I miss
Um,
all the pretty pictures on Instagram.
yeah. So my husband actually said he was scrolling through my feed. He's like, I can't actually look at anything you've made. Like there
Yeah.
aren't any pictures of what you've made. So now I'm trying. I'm like, but then I have to post a reel and a post on the same
Yes.
day.
Yes. Yes.
But I
It's a
am
lot
trying
of
to do
work.
that because I do, I used to be able to batch my photos. So I would go out and I would take
Yep.
photos of probably three different outfits, three different new things I crocheted. And that was content for months, that, or even in years, there's
Hmm.
pictures I took last year that I'm still using this year
Hmm.
because I took them in the summertime. So it fits and I can, refocus on an older pattern. But, now at least with Instagram, I still have to pick a photo for the cover of the reel.
Yes.
So at least there's that, that's taken care of.
So then you
Um,
have to edit that and put that in there and
yeah, yeah. So I would love for you to talk about the Reels challenge that you did and kind of how that, if it was helpful, if what you learned from it, if there's anything you've taken from that to now when you're still having to pump content out.
yeah. So I guess it was in April. I did a double down reels challenge by Hey Summer A.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she does a lot of like social media teaching and things like this. And so she did a reels challenge where you were to post 2 reels a day for 10 days. It was a lot, okay? But you were added to like a special Instagram profile, and she would give you the example reel and kind of break down how she did the captions. And then she would do a training video on how to do like any transitions that are in there, and just kind of give you some ideas on how to get started with it. And and she didn't give you the prompts all at once. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
the night before so that you couldn't batch everything for 10 days. The whole idea was you can make reels as you go. Like if you're traveling or whatever, you can whip out a reel real quick and it's not a big deal. She
Mm-hmm.
gave some examples of some easy ones to do with not a whole lot of transitions and special effects and all those things. Um, and it was challenging. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But it did push my comfort level into what I can do and what I'm capable of doing. granted, I have kind of dropped off that train a little bit because we got toward the end of the school year and things were just crazy. So now I'm trying to get back into the swing of it. Probably won't be doing 2 a day though. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
But I did notice that my my engagement grew a little bit, my followers grew a little bit, and one of the things that I learned in that challenge was that your posts that you post to your feed, like your static posts, are more for your followers and people who already follow you and already engage with you, but the reels, they reach a wider audience and they tend to last longer than your static posts too. And so you might post a reel today and you're still getting engagement on it in a month. And so like that's a really great way to draw in new followers to your account. So so that's one of the reasons that as business owners, we really need to be doing reels, whether we like it or not, because they are beneficial to get new eyes on your content. So,
and I agree. There's a lot of ways that you can do it. And, you know, everything from, you know, just coming on the video and talking about whatever, because now you can do reels up to 90 seconds. And so, you know, for me with this release, I am going to do an outfit change, but I may just come on wearing the jacket and say, hey, just so you guys know, this pattern is in my Etsy shop, you know, and that's all you have to do. You can come on and do a very, like a 0 edits needed, except like when you press on and press off to record, you know, that everything to the more advanced, you know, transition kind of stuff. But I know for me, like I said, finding the types of transition videos that aren't too difficult and are kind of fun definitely made it easier. You know, I think for me, the easiest one that I tell everybody to try is the kind where you just take the yarn that you used and hold it up, you know, all the way up to the screen, and then when you pull it off the screen, you're wearing what you made or holding
like magic.
You know? Yes, exactly. That's, to me,
if only ever that easy.
Exactly. And that's still the easiest for me. I do that a lot. You know, it doesn't seem to have gotten old. People still enjoy watching it to see what you made. So that can be fun. I think for me, the most difficult thing is finding the right audio. Like there are some days where I love the video that I've made. It's all edited and ready to go. And then I spend an hour down the rabbit hole trying to pick the right audio for it. And if Instagram doesn't feed me something that just works. Yep.
And here's a little tip too. Something that I learned in this challenge, which some people already may know this already. If you're going through like the Reels feed and the spot on the bottom where it has the audio on it, if there's a little arrow like this, that means it is a trending audio. And so you may want to use that because it's trending. That doesn't mean that you can't use audios that are not trending, but it just might give you a little extra boost if you use it. So
and templates. That's a big one that's very, very helpful now is if you're scrolling through Instagram and it says use template and it looks like something you're like, oh, I could do that. The template allows you to, it automatically gives you the number of
time intervals.
Yes. And then you just insert your stuff. And this was interesting when I found out. I clicked use template. It pops up on Instagram. I can then close Instagram down, like not completely, but just open up my video, my camera, and I can film it and then go right back to Instagram and upload the video. Then go back to my camera, film the next piece, go back to Instagram. So I don't have to like film, you know, I can do it as I go and just flip back and forth outside of the apps. Yes. So that's super helpful. And it was crazy because I've only had one reel so far that I would say it went viral because it had, I think, 2 million views, which is not normal for me. Like my last couple of reels,
that's awesome.
2,000 views, 3,000 views, sometimes 13,000 views. But this one was one I used a template. It wasn't trending audio, but it was actually, the template that I found was a mug. So the girl had mugs in her hand and she was a ceramic artist and her hand would drop down with a mug in it. And it was like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so I used yarn, and I was like yarn and a hook for Monday, Tuesday for, different ones. And for some reason, Instagram thought that everybody needed to see that one. And so I was like, I need to use templates more often, because you never know. You never
Yeah,
know when it's a new feature.
I've not used them yet, but I need to
Yes,
because
I promise it's
it's pretty
helpful. If you
cool.
find ones that, I found one that Coco Crochet Lee had done where she was spinning her hooks.
Oh
And
yeah, I saw that one.
I was like, this is really cool. I'm going to try this. And I could not for the life of me get the amount of spins that she got. But I was,
It looks like magic.
yes, it was a lot harder. I was like, this is a template. It's going to be easy. And I worked on it for like the whole day on and off.
You're like,
Not as
that's it, I'm
easy as
done.
I thought it would be. I need to pick an easier template.
She's a magician, that's it.
I feel like Instagram should rate the templates. Like this one is beginner friendly template. This is an expert template,
Right? Hmm.
expert transitions.
Yes.
So
Other
let's
words,
talk.
not for me.
I'm bringing us back into like the crochet sphere each time with the questions. But this is what I love because I love that we can just go off on a tangent and talk about other things too, because that makes it really easy. And we'll have to do this again because I have a feeling we could chat very easily anytime about lots of things.
Lots of things.
So let's talk about, we talked a little bit about your business journey already. What are some of the hurdles that you've overcome when it comes to your crochet business now, and even a hurdle that you're looking at now, because I know you would like to go full time. So what does that look like for you right now?
Well, one of the hurdles that I have kind of worked through, I guess, is a physical one. Last year I was diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis. And so that has affected my physical ability to make items to sell. The poms doesn't seem to bother my hands as much, but actually crocheting items to sell in the quantity that I was doing is just not there. Which is why I've been transitioning more into pattern designing and the poms, because I can take my time with those things as I need to. I can take breaks if I need it and not have to worry about, oh, well, I've got a show coming up or whatever. And so that's what I've been doing. Something that I'm working on is just time management, really, just trying to figure out how to fit everything in. And when is the best time to work on things, and, kind of factoring around like my husband who just walked in and my daughter, and just trying to fit it all in, and coming up with some kind of a schedule that works, whether it's on Mondays, I'm going to do batching content, on Tuesdays I do poms or whatever. So just something that works, which here lately I've had too many appointments and other things come up during the day that's kind of messed with things up a little bit, but working on it.
Yes. I mean, I think we're all there in the time management boat, and it takes a lot of time because our lives change, and if you're doing small business full time, I know for me, I don't want to have to work the same hours every day because stuff comes up, when I want to run errands some days, or, maybe it's a, pretty day. So I want to be outside more. Which makes it even more difficult to try to set a schedule.
Yes.
So
I get lucky though because we do have like a screened-in porch. So if it is nice, there are some things that I can take out in the porch and do. Not everything, but I do a lot of my reels out there, just because I have natural light instead of like my basement. But sometimes I can take some things out there and write my content or whatever. But nice days are hard. Yes,
you have a laptop. So that's actually the next thing on our list. We want to get a nice laptop because right now we just have the desktop, and I use my phone for a lot, but it would be nice to have a laptop to like blog somewhere other than my office, like writing content somewhere. Because I mean, I'm not going to write a blog post on my phone.
No.
Not gonna
Or
happen.
even like, I mean, I'm not in an area that has like a coffee shop that we can go in and sit down at, but I'm in a very rural area. Although I think we're getting a coffee shop downtown, so that's exciting.
Ooh, nice.
But even being able to take like your laptop to like a coffee shop and sit down and write there, or whatever it is that you need to do, type up patterns or whatever,
Yeah,
Because like for
exactly.
me, like the ambient noise in a coffee shop, I don't know, there's something about it. It's just,
Yeah. I think some of it reminds me of college and that
yes.
ambient of
Hmm.
being in like the college library, which for me was very hyper focused. I got so used to
Hmm.
being in that space. You would hear some noise, you'd hear people kind of whispering and talking um, and I think that may be part of it of like we've been honed in.
Yeah.
If you spent 4, 6, however
Yeah.
many years you spent in college,
Yeah.
that sticks with you. So I think that is
Hmm.
part of it of going somewhere where it's kind of
That
quiet.
background, like not really
Yeah.
concentrated
You're
noise.
like, I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be studying right now.
Like I have a hard time like watching something on Netflix or listening to a
Yeah.
podcast while I'm working because I get sidetracked. I either don't
Yep.
pay any attention to the podcast that I'm interested in, or I don't pay
Yep.
attention to the work that I'm trying to get done. And so like that background like muffled noise is
Yeah.
sometimes beneficial. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah, I miss that part.
I used to only be able to listen to um, non vocal music.
Hmm.
So if I was
Yeah.
studying, it had to be like jazz or I never
Hmm.
really listened to classical, but like the kind of smooth coffee shop jazz with
Yep.
no lyrics. I could
Hmm.
listen to that, but that was about it, because if it had
Yep.
lyrics, I would listen to the lyrics and I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to focus.
We
So
start singing and yeah.
yeah.
Before you know it, you're done. It's over.
I think I think it's been scientifically proven. I think there's plenty of studies out there that says that humans think they can multitask and they can't. We can't.
No.
We'd
Mm-mm.
like to think we can, but
Yeah, it doesn't work.
uh-huh,
You
uh-huh,
actually
uh-huh.
get less done when you try to
Mhm.
multitask. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I would love to know where you pull right now inspiration from. So on the things that you're working on, especially with like patterns, you're moving more into the pattern writing direction.
Hmm.
What are you inspired by? Whether it's yarn or outside things, like what does that process look like for you?
A little bit of everything, honestly. Like obviously I love color. I
Mm-hmm.
love bright things. Things that kind of generate happiness and positivity. Right now I'm really liking like the older like retro type crochet. Even like the colors and things like that, like the
Yeah,
oranges and the
yeah,
the kind of dirty reds, and I don't know,
yeah.
like it's not super bright, but I kind of
Still
like them and I
colorful.
like that style. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the granny squares, like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the Star Lily girl with all the granny square
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Uh-huh.
I hate making them. Well, no, I don't. I like making them, but I don't like weaving in all the ends because
And sewing them
there's
together.
so many.
Yeah.
And like that's a pain in the butt. But I love the look of it and I really want to make like I've seen it and I have the pattern. It's like a cardigan, like a granny square cardigan with a hood and all this. I really want
Yeah.
to make it. But then I look at it and I'm like, that is a lot of end weaving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I
Unless you
just
make it all one color.
I don't know, right? And that's not as fun.
Uh-uh.
But yeah, like I mean, like I said, my grandma crocheted, my mama crocheted, and so like I've seen some of their blankets, and I have some of their blankets, um, which I don't do blankets. They're evil. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I love the look of it, and like some of the retro like tops that they got going on that are just super
Mm-hmm.
cute. And you've made a couple that are kind of that style ish. Like they kind of remind me of like the retro patterns that you see, and they're just
Well,
so
and I
fun.
think this color scheme was the last one that reminds me of that. This top, because it's
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I agree. And
I
I've
like
had a
it.
lot of people say that I need to do a granny square pattern because it would be a chunky granny square pattern.
Hmm.
So I know that's going to have to happen at some point, but I'm not really looking forward to it yet. And I think that's what I need to wait for. I need to wait for inspiration to be like, it's time to make the granny square pattern. And I'm
Yeah.
not there yet. Not there
It's
yet.
it's just especially if you do multiple colors, it's such a commitment.
Mhm. Exactly. And figuring out the amount of yardage, because that's the big thing. Most of
Yes.
my patterns don't
Yeah.
have the yardage per color listed because I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to figure out, especially for each size, because most of my stuff's
Yeah.
wearables.
Yeah.
So I just tell people, like, usually I use 2 colors, so just cut it in half, you know? That's the best way,
Mhm.
but then sometimes I'll just do like the trim. So I try to help with that, but I don't usually
Mhm.
have color work written into the pattern because I'd rather people just get creative. Like, do whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
But
Like,
it is
here's
kind of an
the
out. I'm like,
recipe.
because I don't know how to figure that out. Like this one, where I just did the trim.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't exactly know how much yardage I had, but you need at least 1 ball of a contrasting color.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. What I
that's
usually do with that is like, if you have a scale, like
hmm
I will weigh the ball of yarn before I start using it,
that's smart. That's
and
super
then I'll
smart.
weigh it
Yep.
at the end
hmm
and kind of just subtract. But
Why did I not think of that? There we
because you're
go.
busy creating and you're like, yeah, I'll do it later.
Yes. Well, and I
It'll be
think
fine.
too, that's another reason that I tell people never assume that something that you do is common knowledge. So, like
Yeah.
when we're talking about reels and we're talking about creating content, like if there's something that you do regularly that like makes your life easier as a crocheter, even the way you weave it ends, like if you weave it in
Hmm.
a certain way, there are going to be people out there who don't know like that's going to be like an aha moment and you're going to blow their
Right.
mind. So, like, you should share it, even if you think, oh, everybody knows that. They probably don't. So,
Hmm.
there's your content.
There you go. Yeah, there's like videos that I'll see on Instagram of like fixing like color changes, how it gets the little
Yeah.
jog in there or something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I that's genius.
hmm
Like that is
Yeah.
amazing. Where did that come from?
Yeah. I think,
So,
is who is it that's doing, oh, she's come on for a Pink Sheep and Friends. Um, and she does the printable labels. Oh my gosh.
oh, Naughty Boss. Is it
Yes,
Naughty
she's
Boss?
been doing the Tip Tuesdays, and they're all these little hacks of like how to make your edge really straight and how to do like magic joins and like super simple tricks that are really helpful. I've
Hmm.
bookmarked a few of them already, but stuff like that is super helpful, you know.
Yeah.
So I was going to tell you too because everybody's been sharing their Hobby Lobby hauls. I don't know if you have
Oh,
one
I've
near
seen them.
you.
Yes.
But I finally went yesterday and I left with 0 yarn, which is crazy. I was like, who even am I? You know? But they didn't have the golden combination of chunky and bright colors on
Mm.
clearance. So it was either they'd have chunky yarn, but they would only have like one color option of that style, and I wouldn't make a whole thing out of that color, you know.
Mhm.
Or they'd have super bulky. But I was going to tell you, if you haven't gone, a lot of their stuff is more of like the earth tones. But if you're feeling that vibe right now, it is like the harvest golds and the sunset
Hmm.
oranges and like that kind. So I feel like if you
Yeah.
haven't gone, check it out because if you're feeling that vibe right now, I think they might actually have some cool colors that you
Cool.
would
Hang on, just
like on
I
clearance. You're
have.
good.
It was in my living room. So I have a granny square hat that I'm working on right now.
Yes.
I,
Yes, I want
it
to
was
see it.
gonna release yesterday.
Okay.
Oh, hang on, I forgot the hat. Oh, I grabbed like 5 of them. It was gonna release yesterday, but I'm trying to work out some of the sizing issues from my testers, and I've been having a psoriatic arthritis flare, so that's slowing down my crocheting. So I've postponed it to Tuesday. But um, so here's my hat.
Oh, I love it
It's
so much.
more it's more of like a sun hat, I guess. So
Yeah,
I'm working on trimming the length of the brim. Um,
I love it.
but there's that one. And
Yeah.
so this is with like more of a bucket hat type brim.
Uh-huh. Is that a
And
different
then
stitch on the bucket hat brim?
yes,
Okay.
this is just single crochets.
Okay.
Where this one is like a granny
Yeah.
stitch, like a
Are you
cluster.
going to have both options for the
Yes,
pattern?
yes.
Awesome.
I'm going to put both options in there. And I've measured for my daughter. Like this one fits my daughter, but like the brim is a little long.
Mhm.
Um, but this one fits her really well.
Yeah.
So she's 7. So really, I think it could fit a wide range of ages. But I'm starting another one with this brim to see how it goes. And like, here's the colors that I picked.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I know.
Very
So I'm
bright
super excited.
70s vibes.
I
So you've
know.
got
I
the
like
right
it.
colors, but then it's brighter than what you would see on the
Yes.
70s shows in the background on the
Yeah.
counter.
Like, I'm digging it. And it's kind of like almost like a little
Yeah,
sunrise type thing going on. So I'm
that's
super excited.
really pretty. I'm excited for this pattern. That's going to be fun. I'm going to share that everywhere too when you post it. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Love
And
it.
I have another bucket hat pattern that I'm working on too. And I have a couple other ideas in my head. So we'll see how quickly I can get those out.
So that reminds me, I think the next blog crochet pattern roundup that I'm going to do on my blog, I think I'm going to do hats because that's one that I haven't done. So since yours will be out, because there's no way I'm going to write it before Tuesday. But when I get those together, I'll add that because I want to do everything from like bucket hats to sun hats to, all the different hats for summer. So I think
Yeah.
that'll be really
Yeah,
great.
that'd be cool.
I was going to say when, because you said your daughter's 7, and I think what I used to tell people at shows is if they are 7 or older to buy the adult size hat because at that point it almost fits them perfectly. It may be a little big, but they grow into it. I wouldn't do a custom kids hat unless they were younger than 7 because there wasn't a point.
Right. Yep.
So
yeah, because they're,
age.
I mean, even when you look up like sizing charts and stuff on Google, like they're very, very close. As far as like the head circumference, they're very close. The only difference is really like the height is the biggest difference. But like you said, like they could easily wear it, and I mean they grow so fast. Like in a week, they might be able to fit into it. So. I mean, like my daughter, I buy her shoes 1 week and 2 weeks later, she's too big for them. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so I have a few more questions that are kind of like generic crochet questions, but I feel like people are always super interested to know from other makers. What are your favorite things to do, listen to, or watch while you crochet?
Like I said, I have a hard time listening to things, but I like to listen to things. I really like listening to like business, like small business podcasts and things like that, but I have a hard time doing things at the same time because I can't focus on one or the other. And there's a lot of good information in some of those. So I usually tend to listen to like true crime podcasts.
Heard that a lot.
My husband comes in and he's like, what are you listening to? I'm like, don't worry about it. Just watch your back, man. It makes him super nervous. But he's like, like 100 different ways that you could kill me and no one would ever know. But but I like listening to those for some odd reason. I also tend to watch things on Netflix that I've seen before that is really just background noise because I don't actually look at it. Yeah, that's about it, I think. Sometimes I listen to an audiobook, but I have a hard time following it while working. So usually true crime. Like the Crime Junkies. I love it.
So where are your favorite places to buy yarn? And what are some of your favorite brands and types of yarn?
Probably Hobby Lobby. It's the closest one to me. It's about a 30-minute drive from where I'm at. We have a Michael's and a Joann's further south of me, but that's like an hour drive. Usually I just order everything. I've ordered from Hobby, however you pronounce it. I've ordered from them, and I love their little pull tab thing. Like, I think that's my favorite part of it, that they have a little start here tab. That's my favorite. But lately, like with making these bucket hats, these are cotton because it's for summer. And like, I really like the Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton for it. A couple of my testers tried like the sugar and cream, and it ended up coming out a little bigger because it's a little thicker. Yeah, it is. And I'm trying to work up the hat out of it. And it's just, I don't like the feel of it, especially for things that you wear. Like it's great for dishcloths or whatever, but not for
Mhm.
something that you wear so much. But I like this one. It's just soft.
Yeah.
Actually, this is Knit Picks Dishy yarn. This
Oh,
is the
okay.
hot water.
Yeah.
But I like it. And even like the I love this yarn. Like it
Mhm.
just has like a nice softness for like
Mhm.
hats and things like that. Um that I mean if it's amigurumi, like I don't mind the red heart because it doesn't have to be soft, you know? And it
Yep.
holds up the stiffness a little bit better. Um, so it really just depends on what I'm working on at the moment, as far as what I want to use. But
And do you usually stick with like the 4 weight, 3 to 4 weight for your projects, or do you use the
usually,
chunkier?
yeah, usually like the four.
Okay.
Um, I like the chunky, but like it hurts my hands. So I have a
Mhm.
hard time doing a lot of the chunkier stuff. And then like the smaller stuff, the hooks are too little and it hurts my hands. So
Mhm.
I like the middle ground.
What are your favorite hooks? Because I know you said you deal sometimes with the pain in your hands. What are some of the hooks
Yeah.
that you've liked?
Um, the Clover Amour aren't too bad. I really like the Furls hooks though.
Mhm.
Um,
Do you have a
I
favorite in there out of their, because they
I
have quite
use
a
the
few options.
Odyssey. The
Hmm.
Odyssey is the one that I like. It's really the only one that I've gotten from them, and I like it.
Yeah.
Um, I bought one in the size, and they're expensive too. But
Hmm.
I bought one in the size that I typically use for more projects. I think it was the G or the H that I bought first, and tried it to see how I liked it. And I liked it so much that I ended up ordering other sizes too, because like it has a big handle on it. And then like the hook part of it is just so smooth and it just glides through the yarn and it doesn't seem to like separate the yarn as much. And I feel like I can crochet faster with it.
Yep.
But like the size of the handle is really, really nice. And it's
Yep.
just easy to hold on to. And something that I like about them too is if like I've had two hooks from them break.
Really?
One, yes, one of them my daughter broke, like she dropped it or I don't know what she did. And then the other one, like I was pushing it through a stitch and it just went
Yep.
and it was like the metal separated from the handle.
Yep.
Um, and so I emailed them and they sent me a replacement
Yep.
and no cost, no nothing. And
Yep.
so they'll replace one hook one time.
Yeah.
So like if I break the replacement, then I'm out of
Yeah.
luck.
Yeah.
But
That
they
makes sense.
will replace it.
Yeah, and that's actually, so I use the Furls Odyssey as well when I make my smaller. So I use the 5.5 millimeter.
Hmm.
And I don't even know. Let's see. No, it's not that
Their
big right there,
sizing
but it's
is
not.
different from some of the other hooks though too. So like
Hmm.
I'm a lot of times I have to look up the sizes. I plan on with my stickers, I plan on making like little stickers that have like
Hmm.
the letter and
Yeah.
the millimeter size on it to go on those hooks. And I plan to like sell those too because
Yeah.
they don't have the millimeters written on those hooks. So, and they're
Hmm.
different.
Yeah, they'll have that little sticker on the end of the Odysseys.
Hmm.
But that's
With the
actually,
letter.
hmm and that's actually what, so Furls hooks, when I started using those, the way that their handle is made was the inspiration for our jumbo hooks. Because even
Mm.
Furls, now they have a 13 and an 18 in the candy shop line. And then
Mm.
because they only go up to 10 in every other line. But the candy shop, they have a
Yeah.
13 and an 18. And then the Alpha series, they have a 15. But they're almost always out of stock. It's very
Yeah.
hard to ever purchase one because they rarely have them. And the candy shop doesn't have that nice handle. Let's see if I've got this is a 13. So this is their candy shop hook, the 13.
Hmm.
And for me, their Odyssey really does, like what you said, it makes it easier for me. Like it feels better. I
Hmm.
don't have as much pain, but there's no, like that's
Yeah.
totally different And
Yeah.
so I said I wanted to make something. So this is R13 that we 3D print that has
Hmm.
a very
A
similar
thicker
handle
handle.
versus what they have for their candy shop. And like
Yeah.
size wise, you can see how short that is.
Yeah.
But that was the inspiration. The way that their handles were so helpful, and they weren't so far away from the hook end. Because a lot
Hmm.
of the ergonomic handles, they're so far down
Yes.
that I want to
Yeah.
hold it up here and then the
I do
handle's down
too.
here.
So then I'm holding like
So
the skinny end, and it's
mhm,
like,
that's not
this
helpful.
handle
And
is
then you have
useless.
pain. So I wanted to ask you too, because I know a couple of people asked about your glasses. So where are your glasses from?
Well, I have a few different pairs of glasses. I have
Mhm.
three different pairs. These are from Pair Eyewear.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So, like, these are magnetic. They have like a little magnet on the ends here.
Hmm.
And I have several different tops that I can switch out, which these are super fun. And
Yeah.
in my stories, I think it's the highlight that's like things that I love or something like that. I
Yeah.
have a code where you can get like I think it's $25 off your first order if
That's
you want to
awesome.
get these two. Like you just give them your prescription and they make them for you.
That's cool.
And the glasses are fairly reasonable too. And they have different shapes of the frames and stuff too. And you can wear them without if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, and then the tops are like $25 to $30 a piece. But you
That's
can
not
earn
bad.
points too. Yeah, like you can earn points when you purchase through them too. So once you get so many points, you can even get a free top. And so it's super fun. And then I've got like a rainbow glittery pair
Hmm.
from Zelo or however you say it.
Okay.
Um and then I've got like a purple pair from Eyewear Direct, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but I when I got these, they only had two different shapes of the frames.
Hmm.
And now they have some bigger shaped ones, and I
Yeah.
kind of wish that they had them whenever I got these, because now I have all these tops that
Yeah.
wouldn't fit a bigger
Yeah.
pair, and like I like my bigger frames. It's
Yeah.
just
I
yeah,
do like that shape though. I
I
like
do
that shape.
too.
Really
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
I like this top,
I
and I
know.
have one that has roller skates on it.
Oh my God. That is definitely story worthy. Like you need a whole
Yeah,
highlight story for
just
your
do
glasses.
all of them.
Yeah,
And
for all of your
I've got
glasses.
they do ones for like holidays, so I've got some Halloween ones, I've got Christmas ones,
It's like the
Easter.
nails. It's
Like
like the yeah. It's like the because do you use the stick on nails too or the
no,
whatever? It's
no,
titanium.
I don't use those, but they're so much fun. And like when I worked in the school system this year, the kids loved it. Like
Yeah,
just about
yeah,
every day I wore a different top, and they're like, "How many glasses do you have?" And I'm like, "They do this," and they're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
they're like, "That's amazing! I need those."
yeah. Now you need to figure out a pattern for storing them. So like a pocket pattern where you
Yes.
slide those in there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The great thing is like they do have like a wall hanging
I
thing
figured.
like
Yeah,
with magnets on it. And so like since they each have magnets, I can just stick them all together. So I have like a stack like this thick
that's
on
true.
the
Yeah,
four of them on there. But
yeah,
before too long it's gonna be too heavy to do that.
yeah.
But then I
That's
have
really
like a glasses case for like my holiday ones that I don't need out all the time. So
uh, that's really neat.
but
I love that.
I do like them
Well,
though.
so we're at the end of our chat, which is crazy because yeah, I think we'll definitely have to do this again because it's so easy for us to chat. Um, but will you let everyone know? You already talked about your initial pattern, but for anyone who just came on, what's upcoming next for you, and where are some of the different places where people can support you?
Well, I'm on Facebook, though not quite as regularly as I am on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I have a shop on Etsy. I'd like to be on Pinterest
Mhm.
more. But I'm most active on Instagram and TikTok probably. And I have where'd it go? My bucket hat
Mhm.
or sun hat pattern coming on Tuesday. And I've also started doing like crochet and knitting theme that makes my eyes dark with my glasses. I've started doing crochet and knitting sunshine rainbow themed stickers. Some of
those
them
are
are like the holographic. Yep, they're on Etsy too. So I've started adding some of those to the shop, and like the sun catchers that you can put on your windows.
yes.
I'm working on some of those. I wanted to
Okay.
test one first on my window, but then we had some like cloudy days, and so I didn't get to test it. But it works really good. So I need to make some of those and get those in there too. But I have several patterns in there. I have a whole brain full of pattern ideas. I just need to sit down and do them. And then I still have some finished items in there too, as well as poms and all sorts of good stuff. So
Yeah, and you have like all the super fun rainbow, bright,
yeah,
crazy
yeah,
color poms, which is really
like
fun.
rainbow leopard and
Mhm.
all sorts of fun stuff.
Awesome. And you have a link in your bio to all of your
Hmm.
stuff right here on Instagram.
Hmm.
All
Yep.
right, so you guys make sure to go check out Casey's work at Casey Carroll Art, and that's 2 R's and 2 L's, right?
Yep.
So Casey with
Yep.
an E, CASEY, CARROLLART.
Art.
How is that
Yes.
for?
Yes. Good job.
Yeah, so go check her out. If you're just joining in late and you want to catch the replay or rewatch this chat with us, you will be able to rewatch it here on Instagram. I'm gonna, once this is over, I'll make sure that it posts here on my feed. But if YouTube is your jam and it's easier for you to rewatch, I have an entire playlist dedicated to these Pink Sheep and Friends episodes. This will be uploaded there within the next hour or two. And you can rewatch all of them, make a whole bunch of new friends since it's Pink Sheep and
Yes.
Friends.
There's
So
some
Casey,
fun.
yes, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so
Yes.
appreciative.
Thank you. It was
And
fun.
yes, and thanks to everyone who came and joined in and chatted with us.
Yay.
So we'll see you guys again soon. All right. Bye.
Bye.